Rob here, and in this video we're going to be looking at the marketing and fan responses to The Bridge Season 3, Episode 1. So in this video we're going to be discussing the marketing of The Bridge, as well as how fans engage with the show. So in terms of how this relates to the syllabus, we're going to be looking at how media organizations maintain, including through marketing, varieties of audiences nationally and globally, how audiences interact with the media and can be actively involved in media production, how audiences use media in different ways, reflecting demographic factors as well as aspects of identity and cultural capital. We're going to be referring to the theories of Stuart Hall, reception theory, Henry Jenkins' Fandom, and Clay Shirky, end of audience theories. Just to remind you about these theories, first of all, Henry Jenkins. Henry Jenkins argued that fans form part of a participatory culture in which audiences are active and participants are creative, and they creatively involve themselves in the meaning created by a text. There are all sorts of different fan responses that fans engage in. Creating fan sites, for example, could be a website, could be a subreddit, could be a blog, could be a Facebook or a Twitter or a Pinterest account, any kind of social media, frankly. There's the creation of fan art, fan fiction, pod fiction, fan films, cosplay, all the social interaction that comes with that through bulletin boards and subreddits and meetups or whatever. And it's about not just people making these sites, but people interacting with them, people contributing to them. Simple things like, hashtags, for example. And of course, there's things like audio mashups. Clay Shirky talked about the idea of the end of audience. He talked about the fact that the internet and digital technologies have had a profound effect on the relationships between media and individuals. We're looking less at a hegemonic top-down model of the media, of course that still exists, and we're looking at how it's supplemented by a more disperse and diverse bottom-up element of media, a more peer-oriented media, ranging from the internet, obviously, and social media, and the fact that, as Henry Jenkins said, we have a participatory culture. He also talked about the conceptualization of audience members as passive consumers of mass media content is no longer tenable in the age of the internet, as media consumers now have become producers who can speak back to the media in various ways, as well as creating and sharing content with one another. So the media is now very much a two-way thing. It's no longer just a top-down model, it is a two-way, top-down, bottom-up model. Again, media creators can no longer ignore the opinions of the audience. So, first things first, let's consider how the bridge is being marketed to target audiences. What kind of things are they being focused on in the marketing? Well, obviously, if we're looking at people like David Hesmergelch and the idea that media industries want to minimize risk and maximize audiences, then there are things that they're going to be using to minimize risk and maximize audiences. Stars, franchises, and genres being three of the key ones. So in terms of the stars, the main star of The Bridge is Sophia Helen, and she features significantly in the marketing, the promotion. She's the one that goes on the TV shows and does the interviews. She's the one that goes in the magazines. She's the one who gets her face on the front cover of magazines, things like this. She, of course, plays the character Saga Noren. Saga became something of an iconic character, both for being a representation of a strong female character who is over 40, but also in terms of her neurodiversity and the representations of the fact that she is on the autistic spectrum. Equally, the Scandi noir genre has become extremely successful, following the success of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies, which were remade in Hollywood. There's at least two of those now. But the Scandi noir genre became extremely popular on television. First of all with The Killing, then with the Bridge, and then with other spin-offs, other series like Anna Dahl, for example, and Wallander and things like that. BBC Four leaned heavily into this, and they're still showing quality prestige genre programs in foreign languages on the weekends, Fridays or Saturdays, in double episodes. It's very much part of their core programming, and I think it's one of the most popular things that they show. Obviously, we're going to use magazines and other print products to promote your show. We see it, making it on the front cover of things like the Radio Times because it's a big deal. It's popular. There is, of course, going to be merchandising. I've had a good look, and I can't find an awful lot of official merchandising for the Bridge, but there is an awful lot of unofficial merchandising, which again ties in with the participatory culture that Jenkins talked about, where people are actually finding a market out there for the Bridge merchandising, which isn't being fulfilled officially. And so there's sort of like the crowd, funding and crowdsourced nature of things like Etsy and Redbubble have stepped in. So there's loads and loads of merchandising you can find on sites like that, not to mention things like AliExpress. All of this because the series has created a brand within the brand of Scandi Noir as a genre in general, but also, it made the full series. It was popular, it's successful. These elements help to target different audiences. So in Scandinavia, in Norway, Sweden, Finland in particular, the Bridge was mainstream programming that appealed to a mass audience. Whereas in the UK and other territories, it's going to more be appreciated by smaller niche audiences because of the nature of it being a prestige foreign language drama. So it's not going to appeal to the same kind of audience as Life on Mars because, that's a BBC One mass audience. Having said that, of course, because of the difference in population size of the Scandinavian countries, more British people probably tuned in to the Bridge on a weekly basis than Norway, Denmark, and Finland put together, and Sweden. So, as Hesbagelch argues, companies use these techniques to minimize risk and maximize profits. And again, the Bridge tied in with the success of the Girl with Dragon Tattoo and the Killing. This, of course, reflects the notion of major media institutions formatting their cultural products. So, let's have a look at some of the marketing materials. I couldn't find a soundtrack album for the Bridge, but if you went on Spotify, you could see the theme for the Bridge, which is called Hollow Talk, and that was successful. I think the band's Hollow Talk. I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, it's the single for the soundtrack. The BBC, for example, has got a website for the Bridge. This is the trailer that they used to promote the television program. I'm not going to play that now. You can go find that yourself. But equally, we can see that, the release of a new series of The Bridge is a big deal. Here we've got an article from the HuffPost, which is basically reporting on the fact that the trailer for season 3 has dropped. So not just the program itself is a big deal, but even the trailer itself has attracted internet heat. Yeah, that's the trailer that's from the Nordic Noir TV brand. So there's more than one on there. As you can see, they're on YouTube. This is SVT, the broadcaster in Sweden, Sverige Television. This is their website. I've translated this from the Swedish. Well, I personally did it on Google. As you can see, bits of it can only be seen in Sweden. But, shows that they had their own website for it. Couldn't find ones for Denmark's radio. Obviously, the Bridge is being promoted heavily by the BBC. On the left there, you've got the iPlayer site for it. So this is season 3, episode 1. And on the right there, you've got the homepage for the Bridge, which is a series overview. It's got character breakdowns, clips you can watch, and of course you can watch the episodes via iPlayer. There are other marketing materials. So, for example, Sophia Helen, who's the star of the bridge, of course, plays Saga Nora, and there she is on the Andrew Marr show on BBC One on the 29th of April 2018. Obviously, that's for the end of season 4, I believe. On the right hand there, we've got Nordicana, which is a Nordic noir kind of uh, convention, I suppose, which was held in 2014, and this was a bridge Q&A with Sophia Heflin and Kim Bodnia, chaired by TV personality Susie Perry, who you may know from Formula One coverage on Channel, was it BBC One or Channel 4? I don't know. She does superbikes and all that kind of stuff. So she used to be in the Gadget Show, things like that. So, there's content on YouTube that you can go and find as promoting it. It shows that there's a fandom behind it. In terms of merchandise, I mean, let's face it, you go on Etsy, you go on Redbubble, you go on, AliExpress, and you can pretty much find any kind of tat you want. I mean, look at this just variety of iPhone cases with various Saga Noran stuff on it, including Saga Noran Landskret Malmo, her catchphrase. When I said it was a catchphrase, I wasn't kidding. We've got Saga and Henrik, little iconic characters. We've got pictures of her Porsche. Loads of this stuff. I mean, look at this, £15.60 for this stuff. T-shirts. I mean, good lord, you name it, you can shove a bridge icon on it. You know, with the Bron Broen logos on it. Epic Saga, nice little joke there. Saga and Henrik there. Various Saga Noran ones. Again, her catchphrase. We've got merch, stickers. Yeah, vinyl stickers, plastic stickers. We've got tote bags, posters, well, more like an art print, really. COVID masks with a catchphrase on it. For some reason, a bridge Porsche miniskirt. Who's buying this stuff? This one I particularly liked. Saga's Porsche 911S, that iconic car, went up for sale at the Goodwood auctions and vastly exceeded the amount of money it was going for. It was auctioned for charity. Interestingly, Sophia Helen is the Scandinavian representative for WaterAid. Nice little tie-in there with our other case studies. And this Porsche was expected to go for £20,000 to £30,000. It ultimately went for a lot more than that. £120,000 over its estimate. Final bidding closed at £141,500 at the Goodwood Festival Speed. Amazing charity auction that. Here we can see, this is a YouTube video on WaterAid's page with Sophia Helen talking about the sale. Then, if we go into our Henry Jenkins idea of fan participation, as we can see loads of fan art from places like Redbubble, Pinterest, Tumblr, DeviantArt, the usual places you'd expect this kind of stuff to be. Some of it of considerably higher quality than others. I even managed to find a little bit of the Bridge fan fiction. Not that I've read any of it. Lord knows what you'll come across. Not an awful lot of fan sites I could find with a cursory little dig. I mean, I found this Bridge 3 unofficial Twitter account. I couldn't find an official one. Nor could I find a Facebook one either. But another interesting thing is that Saga Noran came across as something of a bit of a style icon. I found numerous sites, including this one from The Guardian, about how to replicate Saga's look and style. So, That's a bit interesting. But one of the other things about it, of course, was for audience members who have neurodiverse conditions, such as autism or Asperger's, it was very refreshing to see a character like Saga Noran on television being a lead character, being heroic and intelligent and successful and a bit of a sex symbol. So saw this interesting blog post here from Sarah Niblock, PhD, who's a journalist, academic, author, and commentator, talking about is the bridge changing perceptions of mental health? Little picture of her there, sat on Saga's actual Porsche. Um, Again, as I said, Facebook account. Actually, this is the official Facebook account of the bridge. Said I couldn't find a Twitter one. I quite like this was a fan response. Um, a Dr. Nigel Holt of the University of Aberystwyth was watching the bridge when his main character literally mentioned his name. Imagine sitting down watching your favourite detective show and they actually mention you. I mean, talk about breaking the fourth wall for you specifically. I mean, nice little touch, that one. Obviously, the home video sell-through market, you can buy the bridge on DVD, you can buy it on Blu-ray, you can buy it in various box sets from a label called Nordic Noir, who specialise in, guess what? Nordic Noir. And it's available for streaming. You can pay to watch it on Amazon, £2.49 per episode, or the entire season for £4.99, which begs the question, why on earth would you watch one episode when you can buy the entire season for £4.99? Never mind. Obviously, it was, used to sell magazines. Radio Times from 2018. Of course, this is for the final season. But The Bridge, it's back and darker than ever, plus 5 foreign dramas to look out for. Radio Times, kind of like the official TV guide of the BBC back in the day. TV Times did ITV. Now, of course, to cover all of them. But again, pushing that, Saga Noran on the front cover. Big double page spread interviewing Sophia Heflin. Well, it's actually a 3-pager. So, obviously, big deal, you know. Loads of magazine covers. Again, Radio Times. Scandinavian Traveller. I mean, there is a tourist tourist industry of people traveling to Scandinavian countries to, see the locations of their favourite Scandi noirs in real life. There is even a magazine called Crime Scene, which specialises in crime drama, books, TV, and film. Obviously, they're going to heavily, feature the bridge. It was a big deal. And broadsheet newspapers like the Times. The readers of the broadsheet newspapers are, of course, going to be ABC One. They're going to be intelligent. They're going to be educated. They are the key target audience of BBC Four. They're the kind of people who are going to want to settle down and watch a highbrow Scandinavian drama on a Saturday night. Probably middle age. Not going to be out clubbing. Again, Sunday supplement. This is from the Sunday Mail Weekend. Big spread about the bridge coming to an end. The other thing I want to mention is, again, the cultural impact. So, as we've already established that for women with autism, Saga Noran became something of a role model. So, again, tying with the fact there's a BBC programme, BBC News, do an article about it. So is the Evening Standard. Sophia Helen, Saga's over 40, socially awkward, wears no makeup, but fans still love her. Interesting, talking about if we're talking about the representation of women, if we're talking about Lisbeth Van Zunen, if we're talking about Stuart Hall and stereotyping, if we're talking about gender performativity with Judith Butler. This is commenting on all of that, isn't it? And I guess we could look at David Gauntlet talking about in the 21st century, we've got a wider variety of role models to look up to form our stereotypes with. And then finally, I just wanted to say there's not just an economic impact and a cultural impact, but there's an academic impact. So look at all these academic essays and articles talking about the impact of the bridge. So here we've got one when Saga Norrin meets neurotypicality, a liminal encounter along the bridge. I like that, liminal. Bridges are very liminal. European neurodivergent detectives and the politics of autism representations. Deviant detectives in the Scandinavian welfare state, the girl with the dragon tattoo and the bridge. So this is something that's been getting critical traction, not just cultural traction. So there you go. There's another video on this YouTube playlist about the same stuff but for life on Mars. If you've got any questions, you know where to find me. If you can find any other bits and pieces of bridge-related merchandise, stroke tat, or any other kind of if you can find any kind of fan site. I tried to look for some uh, fan films, couldn't find any. Tried to find some cosplay. You'd think Saga Norrin cosplay would be pretty easy and a good Halloween costume, but no, I couldn't find any. So, if you can find anything, let me know and I'll add it to the PowerPoint. But in the meantime, you know where to find me. See you in the next one.